So you have an idea, you want to put it into action, but along the way, you get distracted, you start to overthink, you get lost, you get frustrated, so you quit. Check this out. So usually you'll have an idea, you decide to go online, do some research to absorb information, you'll analyze your choices, and you'll make a decision. But then you'll further evaluate said decision to validate it. This leads to some second guessing and hesitancy, and eventually you'll freeze up. You go back to the drawing board, say you need to do more research, you come up with a new decision, try and validate it again, you freeze up. This cycle is going to happen over and over and over until eventually you freeze up so much that you get so frustrated and so overstimulated that you quit and you look like this guy. Welcome to the analysis paralysis cycle. Internally, you probably experience what I call the hype cycle. So this is a graph of motivation plotted over time. So you usually have an idea that triggers a rapid spike in motivation, and this will peak at the top where we experience inflated expectations. This is where you think you're going to be a millionaire in 3 months. This is really your classic 3 a.m. motivation. But then you keep thinking and doing research, and then you experience some disillusionment, and then your continued hesitancy will lead to a decline in motivation until it zeroes out. And then some time will pass and you'll have a new idea, and this cycle will happen again and again. And so you're stuck in a purgatory, a slave to your fleeting emotions. People stuck in the analysis paralysis cycle are usually the perfectionist archetype, and this is really just fueled by an intense fear of failure. And they also have a really high time to urgency ratio, meaning they have too much time on their hands and they don't have enough urgency. So you can logically extrapolate what it actually takes to be successful. That's what I did. So you just kind of zoom out and you can see that after you make a decision, the next step is to just take action. This is what successful people usually do. And they're usually not successful their first time, so they acknowledge their shortcomings, they go back, they do some more research, they make a new decision, they act on that, and they do this again and again. And if you do this often enough, that's how you get successful. That's your productivity cycle. You can see how both halves mirror themselves, except the productivity cycle involves going beyond planning towards action. And this step, once you've made your decision, can either go to the left or the right. And you want to push this equilibrium to the right. And you can catalyze this rate-limiting step towards taking action through the self-realization that your inaction guarantees a 100% failure rate. This is why the fear of failure is actually a paradox, because by staying in the analysis paralysis cycle and avoiding action, you ensure failure. So really all you have to do is limit your options and set a deadline to lower your time and therefore your time to urgency ratio, and then just go. If you can do this step right here, this is the rate limiting step, if you can actually take action and start getting in this loop, that's how you get successful.